critical point of the enzyme.
So does it change enzyme function?
Yes, it does change.
It's in a coding region.
Yes.
And what does it do to the enzyme?
It
Is one of them more active than the other, or different regulation?
probably. I'm not sure which one is which, but they say it's important. So let's see. So I wanted to summarize the background. Exercise and cognitive training increases the volume of cortical and subcortical structures. So separately, exercise does it by itself and cognitive training does it by itself, and it's shown both in animals and humans. When they are combined, they have the same effect, and it's mostly shown in animals. Also, the cholinergic system might be involved in these processes. So the paper was trying to answer the question: does combinational training, which is a combination of physical and cognitive training, has an impact on those several factors, different resting state networks, which are part of DMN, cortical thickness, cognitive function, and daily living activities. Also, they were trying to investigate whether their specific dopamine-related gene polymorphism may differently affect the individual response to the combinational training. So let's go into the methods. There were 30 subjects total, 15 in each group. Age range was from 60 to 75 years old. Combination training was introduced for 6 months, and it encompassed cognitive stimuli such as Sudoku, sensorial stimuli, they were listening to music, aerobic exercise, which was dancing or walking. Also, it included recreational activities such as game playing, card games, and cognitive software training. The control group was asked not to modify their lifestyles. The subjects underwent 2 brain scans and neuropsychological evaluations. One at time 0, which is before the cognitive training, and at time 6, which is after cognitive training. 6 months of cognitive training. It's important to notice that 2 subjects were from the training group were excluded prior to the second scanning session due to the withdrawal that might affect the power of analysis. So that's not good. There were all the subjects' neuropsychological and occupational assessment was evaluated. For example, the subjects had to do the prose memory test, which is a verbal memory test that when the story is told and then it asked to be recalled 2 times immediately and after 20 minutes of delay. The recall after 20 minutes of delay tests long-term memory. Occupational therapy evaluation, or OTE, evaluates performance in daily living activities related to motor and process skills. Most of the studies, including the one described in the paper, do functional connectivity analysis while the subject is at rest and doesn't engage in any cognitive tasks. So that's where the resting state network comes from. RSN maps were generated by the independent component analysis, or ICA. Most of you probably are familiar with that. It's like decomposing of both series signal into independent components, temporal spatial patterns. So the following polymorphisms were genotyped. DRD 1 through 5 are the genes for the different subtypes of the dopamine receptor. COMT is the gene for COMT enzyme that catabolizes dopamine. And that one is the gene for the dopamine transporter, which is a protein responsible for the dopamine reuptake. So, let's go to the behavioral results now. Testing at T6 indicated that there was a trend toward the significance in the global prose memory test scores, and that in the training group after they underwent combinational training. So the value is like very close to significance, but not significant still. So this is one of the downfalls, I think, of this study, that there are a lot of values that are close to the point, but not yet. However, when the delayed recall subtest was evaluated separately, so it's a part of the global memory test, the one that tests the long-term memory. When it was evaluated separately, it showed a main effect of combinational training on the test scores. So it improved long-term memory.
Sorry, just because I can't stop myself, I mean, doing this measures, even if it was significant, it kind of doesn't say anything. Like, they're not even using the control. You want to know whether, like, the control difference at T0, like, if there's a difference between control test at T0 and control test at T6, not whether, because they both actually trend towards increasing.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true.
So I found all these behavioral analyses seem kind of like fishing and because they're not even using the control in either of these comparisons. Like, there's no point even doing it.
I think they use it in.
Yeah, they use it in these
over
other
here.
ones, but in the first two, there's like nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's probably why it was published and was not.
So do you think they looked at it and just didn't come up significant, they didn't put it on reply?
Maybe.
Yeah, but the point of doing the control is that that difference is meaningful and this difference is not meaningful.
I get it, I mean, I totally think they should do it, but I'm just thinking, like, often you don't even put anything in your plot unless it's significant or trending towards. So maybe they did all the different multiple comparisons, and they just reported this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, they shouldn't report it like this is meaningful though, they should be like, well, this didn't show anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then why did they put the significance levels over here?
Well, these are all trending towards significance. I mean, I agree, like, I totally agree, I think they should
Well, the
have done
first
all
one,
the
at T6,
comparisons.
even the controls got better, so maybe being tested twice, like you get better.
Test
or something like that.
reliability, yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Did they specify what statistical tests and was not tests they used?
No.
Oh, yeah, as part of that, I think it's kind of funny that, you know, they say for the controls that they ask them not to change their daily routine for the 6 months, but what if they're already doing some of these things? I mean, I know some elderly people who play cards and go for walks, so they don't really mention anything at all about what the controls are doing.
Yes, and that's very important, because even in the exercise studies, they don't just ask not to modify your lifestyle in control group. They ask you to come and engage in some type of activities, because there's might be the social impact on the brain also.
Right.
So they ask to do stretching and toning, which is also a type of exercise, but it doesn't involve cardio.
Yeah,
So
I think that's one thing.
that's why my current advisor also always publishes like a good papers, and because that's a good type of control.
Yeah.
And this study didn't do that, so.
Although if there was a control group of exercise, wouldn't that just have the net effect of like reducing the significance of any effect that they found? Like so I mean, it's sort of like downwardly biased their effect, right? So if they're getting any effect, then it means it's like over and above whatever the additional.
Yeah, but it's just kind of funny that they're not looking at the change in the controls, and so maybe it's also the fact that these training group are having changes, and, you know, they're doing something different from what they normally do.
Yeah. So, but I think this increase is, of both of them might be due to the retest. So when people do the cognitive testing for the second time or for the third time, there is an improvement, most likely. So Boom.